The level of ignorance that is here in the United States is mind boggling. The picture that was before this is of a wonderful woman in Texas who's just in every way fantastic as far as this app is concerned, and pointing out the real dangers of misogyny for the male population going forward. A lot of men, a great deal of men, are very ignorant about history. And the man in the picture made reference to, Wi-Fi and stuff like that. And Hedy Lamarr, who was an actress and was absolutely gorgeous, fantastically talented actress, was an unbelievably intelligent woman who was the one who created Wi-Fi. And she and Maureen O'Hara were two women that my mom idolized in Hollywood. And Maureen O'Hara was in The Quiet Man with John Wayne. And she left because she experienced sexual assault in the Hollywood system in the 1940s. There was an expectation that she would sleep with leading men and sleep with directors and things of that general effect, and she was married and not interested in doing so, and she returned back to Ireland. And this is indicative of how men have treated women during the modern era. Time that we've been able to record things. And you sit there and you say, there's been saying after saying that the men on the right are having difficulty finding women. And the male chauvinistic behavior, the misogyny, the wanting to repress women that is throughout the right doesn't really lend to a loving relationship for most women. So women are not dating these men. And it's not just here. It's happening in Korea too. So in South Korea, they have something called the 4Bs, and it means something, obviously in Korean, each of the letters has something to do with. But the young women are not getting married, they're not dating men, and they're living life single because they are tired of the misogyny and the oppressive behavior. You see it here. Women talk all the time about how they're not having sex with their husband because their husband isn't supporting them, about birth control, about IVF, about having an abortion. There are going to be consequences. There's always consequences. And the push on the right towards this authoritarianism, I don't know how there will not be a tsunami of women wanting to change what's going on. I know that in my state of Florida, abortion's on the ballot. It's a 60 percentile, but it's on the ballot. I know New York State, abortion is on the ballot to be on their constitution. And Arizona, they reached the threshold and it exceeded the threshold by 100,000 signatures to get it on the ballot in 2024. New York isn't a swing state, but the down ticket races in New York alone, we could pick up 3 or 4 seats in the state of New York alone if everything else stayed the same and have a Democratic House. Having Florida and Arizona also have this on the ballot will be a great push for Democratic leaning people coming out, because people are going to come out about abortion. I'm livid. I don't even have a uterus. I'm livid for my child and my friends who want to have children. I do not see how men that continue to act in a misogynistic way, continue to treat women poorly, are going to be successful going forward. Those things happened in the past, and that boys will be boys attitude that people had, and it's just not acceptable anymore. And men need to adapt, because if you don't, as my fair feminist pointed out, you're going to be spending your life alone with your Xbox. And that's your decision, because women are going to choose to not spend time with you. If you're voting for them losing their rights, if you're voting for them losing their retirement, if you're for them losing possibly their veteran benefits, because these are all things Republicans will get rid of. If you're for children getting shot, because how much of the Republican Party is owned by guns, that's what you're supporting. And these men are concerned, are wondering why women aren't running to them. It's unbelievable. Please remember that the election that is coming up in 220 days is an election that will help influence our democracy. We need to make sure that we give the presumptive president, Joseph Biden, a Democratic Senate and a Democratic House, so that we can codify Roe, expand the Supreme Court. There are 9 Supreme Court justices, because that was all the districts there were when Supreme Court justices actually had to go around on horses before the choo-choo train. We could expand the court to 14, equal to the number of districts in the United States, by adding 5 Supreme Court justices. You could neutralize the aspect of the right that had been put in by Donald Trump, George Bush, Sr. and Jr., because those are the 5 or 6, Supreme Court justices put in by Republicans that stripped rights away from women. Gentlemen, we need to do better. Women drive this application. Please do better. Please remember to vote true and vote blue.